Hello everyone, and welcome to another unboxing of another vacuum cleaner, and it's a Hoover today, a Hoover Eco G bagged vacuum cleaner. It's a AAA rated machine. Now, some of you who watched my Christmas Day unboxing video 2018 might remember me opening this, and I didn't know who purchased it at the time, but I've subsequently found out that it was generously purchased by Mark Leslie. So thank you once again, Mark, for your generous gift. So without any further ado, I had a quick look inside to see if there was a gift note. There may be a gift note in the bottom when I open it properly, but at least I know who bought it for me, so that's the main thing. So let's have a quick look at the old energy label. So it's an A for energy use, using an average 27 kilowatt hours per annum. It gets an A for dust emissions. It gets a C for dust pickup from carpet, an A for dust pickup from hard floors, and it's relatively quiet at 76 decibels. Got the guarantee, and of course the instruction book, and there's another separate little leaflet with some floor nozzles on. So here we go. Now, when I took a sneak peek at this, I did see a nozzle that I'm not keen on. Regular viewers will know I'm not keen on this nozzle. It's not going to perform very well using the supplied nozzle, but not on carpets at least. I should be able to put a different nozzle on it. Right, well, first of all though, this is the hard floor nozzle that gets an A rating for dust pickup off a hard floor. And I've had this nozzle before on other cleaners, and I can't remember how it performed. I'm not sure if I did a proper demo on a hard floor with this H-Lab Hard Floor Extra nozzle, but I certainly will be demonstrating this one. It's a bit different, isn't it? It's got two soft sort of plastic rubbery squeegees that rotate, but they're not powered. They obviously just move back and forth as you move the nozzle, and it's got squeegee in the middle of the suction channel, two wheels at the back, parking bracket for the cleaner, storing on the cleaner. It's also got a suction relief valve, which is unusual. That would be useful perhaps on a floor that's not stuck down. On my kitchen floor I had previously, it was just a cheap vinyl floor, and it wasn't actually stuck down everywhere, just around the edges. So often vacuum cleaners would suck the vinyl floor into the nozzle, which made it pretty useless. A lot of the dirt wouldn't be removed because it was basically sticking to the floor. So this design with these rotating blades might help with that. Got some big bellows as well, look there. And it's not that flexible. It does swivel, of course, it does move slightly, but it's quite rigid. Oh, and it looks like you can actually take out the rollers. You can remove those to give it a clean if you need to. It does have a pet hair turbo brush, but only a small one, so this is really not suitable for carpets. It's too small for doing a larger area of carpet, but it's okay for your upholstery, your car interior, your stairs, pet bedding, etc. Pretty bog standard nozzle. You have access inside, at least I think you do. There we are. As you can see, that's what powers it. The suction rotates those fan blades, and the little belt drives the rotating brush. Here it is. I didn't think we'd still be getting cleaners with this nozzle. This is the Hoover H-Lab Carpet Extra. No, it looks just the same. So forget it, pet hair on carpet, forget it with this nozzle. It's just got nothing underneath apart from one sort of squeegee in the middle of a suction inlet, and that's it. There's a roller on the back, two wheels as well, the parking bracket. But from my experience with Hoover cleaners that have got this nozzle, it's a pretty bad nozzle. It doesn't clamp itself to the carpet like some of these low energy nozzles, but basically it was pretty useless, but I'll give it another go. You never know, but I don't think it's going to be very good. There are much better nozzles available now with Hoover cleaners. Quite a hefty telescopic wand. Yeah, it's quite a weight to it. You've got a little slot there to actually park it. Not that long, it's not too bad. It's a bit longer than some budget cleaners. At least it is bigger than the actual viewfinder. Sometimes they're so short they actually fit in the viewfinder like that would there, look. But it does extend a fair way, so that's not too bad, but that's pretty heavy. I've got the hose. It looks like it's probably, oh, it is very, very short. Maybe only 1.2 meters. That's the end that goes into the machine. I don't know if it, I think it swivels in the machine, but the hose actually rotates to prevent tangling, and of course the handle end, the handle rotates. Got a nice little rubberized grip. There's something there. I wonder what that bit's for. That could be for holding some of the small tools. Oh no, but I think it's got the tools inside. So, now I know what that's for. Well, I think I know what that's for. And that's for storing the machine. I think it packs away. I think the hose wraps around this cleaner. We'll soon find out when I get the machine out. You've got a suction relief valve. I'll have to check if there's, oh yes there is. There is also an electronic control on the machine. But you can use this if you want to briefly reduce the suction, and of course keep it closed for maximum suction. I think that's it, apart from the cleaner itself. It's same colouring as my EcoG Telios, which I did rate. I did that a while ago, and that was a pretty good machine. I've also got an EcoG Globe upright vacuum, bagless upright. I've got an EcoG Turbo Power bagless, based on the newer Turbo Powers. The only EcoG model I don't have yet, they did an EcoG bagless cylinder. Still in this same colour scheme, this, I don't really know what you'd call that, some sort of metallic tealy green, I'm not sure. Actually, let's see what Hoover calls this colour. Hoover call this colour, that's right, they call it Caribbean green, and this is opal white. So, this feels fairly robust. There's no bumper, I'm afraid, around the side to protect your furniture, but this part of the machine, the lower part, seems to be a different sort of plastic to the upper part. You've got the carry handle at the top there, and you have got 4 swivel casters. It's a 700 watt motor, this machine, made of course in China. And the actual model number is AT70EG10001, I think that says. And we've got here, now I'm thinking this is 2 storage brackets, but I think these 2 slots here are something to do with the way you pack the machine away when you're storing it in your cupboard. And on the back we do have a parking bracket. You can park the main 2 nozzles if you want to pause cleaning. That does fit onto there. This part here that moves up, that involves storage of the cleaner. The hose does wrap around, and we've got minimum and maximum slide control here to adjust the suction, and there should be 3 individual tools inside here. If we just lift up the lid, there we go, yes. So it's nice to see individual tools. You've got an upholstery nozzle, very short crevice tool, and then a reasonable dusting brush. I've seen worse, but I've seen better. They're quite rigid, those brushes, so it'd be alright for lampshades and things, but nothing too delicate. You've got a bag check indicator, piston, you can actually move it with your finger, this one. Let's pop that in there. That way, which way does that go? There we are. So yes, it's a bagged machine, no spare bags with this. And I have a feeling these bags, oh, that's quite stiff. Hang on. I don't want to snap it, but I know it opens more than this. It should open. Oh dear. Oh, sorry about that bang. Now you see the bottom half of this cleaner feels a bit more robust than the top lid. Got a big exhaust filter. Look at that. As I said, it does get an A rating for dust emissions, so it should keep most of the dust inside that you pick up. So that's a quite good pleated HEPA on the exhaust. I think that is the final filter. We have a bag that probably does seal itself, but I won't. Yes, it does. You pull the bag out here, and as you can see, as you pull it out, it closes. Oops, almost. So that should keep the dust in. Let's see what style bag these take. Non-reusable, pure filter HEPA. It's a bag reference H73. There's a pre-motor filter here. I assume that's all washable. It does tell you, there's a little sticker just here. It tells you the bag code to ask for, H73. There's also a suction relief valve just at the bottom there. In case you use it with a blockage or the bag is very full, it should allow air into the, still allow air to flow through the motor. Close that down. On the back, got the cable, and of course it's got a fitted plug. It takes one of these thin cables. I don't suppose it matters having a thinner cable with a lower wattage vacuum, but some high wattage vacuums I've had these thin cables, but this is only 700 watt. Again, we've got a red, there's a yellow and a red sticker, so you shouldn't really pull the cable beyond the red. So we'll let that go in a bit. Doesn't matter if the yellow part's showing. Okay, let's plug in this Hoover Eco-G, and I'll actually be able to see what the suction's like using my new suction gauge. Okay, it's on minimum. Let's see what it sounds like. So, not a bad volume level. As I said, it's hard to tell when you're watching a YouTube video of a vacuum, but it's a fairly pleasant sounding machine compared to some of the screamers we used to get in the old days, those high wattage screamers that were very painful to hear. That's not too bad. It's got a little bit of a high pitched tone, but it's not too loud. Right, now I've got this. Now I haven't really looked into what these numbers mean yet. So this is the first video that I've recorded that features this suction gauge. Suction power doesn't really equate to how well it's going to pick up stuff, especially pet hair. There are other factors obviously involved with how effective a vacuum cleaner is. Suction and airflow is one of them, but of course in many instances removing certain types of dirt, especially from carpets, agitation and the brushing action is also important. But it's interesting, I've just got something else now. I can measure suction power from cleaners. So this did seem to be at 70, and I'm not sure if that's 70 inches of water, or I think that is 70 inches of water. I think that's what the inner gauge is, and the outer gauge is kilopascals. So I'm going to use the inches of water measurement, but please comment below if you're more familiar with this. As I said, it's the first video I've used this. So, but it did look like it was 70. And if I was to measure it on the end of the extension wand fully extended, I can't see it being any different. Certainly not on this type of measurement. If it was a more sort of accurate digital display, it might show some difference, but it's going to be minuscule when I attach the hose and the wand. Let's put the old H-Lab nozzle on. Yeah, as I said, not a fan of that nozzle. Well, the cable rewind is a little bit sluggish on this machine, which is surprising because normally they're fairly good. It's a bit slow. Yeah, it's quite unusual because normally the past few Hoover cleaners I've purchased from this sort of era, modern Hoover cleaners, they tend to really whip the cable in. So that does need a little bit of a helping hand at the end. Well, it's emitting a very strange chemically smell. It's not a motor smell, it's a plasticky smell, and I'm thinking if I was to use this in a confined space I might start having hallucinations. But anyway, it's unusual. I might have to disguise that with some air freshener inside the bag because it's pretty potent, but I think with use that smell will deteriorate. Well, let's try and pack this away because it does have a little storage trick up its sleeve, so we'll see how to do that. It did have a curious clicking noise. You probably heard it on the video when I was using the H-Lab carpet extra nozzle. I don't really know why. It might have been the roller that was making the noise because there's nothing else that moves. The central squeegee there won't be making that noise, so it must have been the combination of the wheels or the roller making that annoying clicking noise. But it didn't stick to the carpet. This rug here is a textured rug and nothing sticks to this. Every cleaner I use on this rug seems to skim over it because it's got you know, it's got different heights, so the suction on any nozzle gets sort of lost in these grooves. But even on the carpet behind me it wasn't sticking. But you know, you'd like to feel it's got some sort of grip to the pile, but it's this nozzle, I'm afraid. If I was to use this with the nozzle supplied with the Telios Eco G, I'm sure it would be far better, but I'll show you all that when I do the demo. So to end the video, I've rewound the cable, so now let's see how this all stores together for fitting in your cupboard. Okay, then the first thing I need to do before storing the machine away is collapse the telescopic wand and remove it from the hose. And then we've got this clip on the bottom here which we need to move up, and then we can wrap the hose around. So let's see if there's any particular way we need to do it. I'm not sure. We'll try it this way. So part of the hose fits along there and it sort of wraps around. Well, I've had a few failed attempts off camera trying to wrap this hose around as illustrated. In fact, the instruction book shows this piece here that sticks up. In the instruction book it shows it the opposite way. It shows it sticking down like that, but there's a little lug here and a little groove which makes me think that it does go that way. In fact, that's the way it was packed in the box, but there's no way I can seem to fit the hose round, so I'm going to have to turn it the other way. And then you pull this clip up, which is quite flimsy, I have to say, something that might break off in time, so you're going to have to be careful. I don't think people are going to bother doing this, to be honest. It seems a faff. So this is supposed to support the hose at the bottom, and then you sort of wrap it round like that, and then this piece, which I'm going to have to move, hooks, well, actually clips in. So yeah, that's going to just have to move around, and it doesn't really fit on very well at all. So that's sort of the way it goes on, but as you can see, it's not, unless I put it behind the handle. Oh, that's right, it shows it behind the handle. Oh, that's better. That's better. Oh, it does fit. Well, that's more secure now. You actually have to hook the hose behind the handle, so that is tightly on, but I have a feeling it does seem a little bit flimsy, all the plastics, especially the hose hook there. I think that's going to break off in time. Anyway, I've eventually done it, which makes it quite neat. So then you take the extension wand with the nozzle, and I'm assuming it will just fit onto the back. There's a couple of pictures. Can't really make out what they are, but they're both the same sort of bracket. Oh, but that doesn't fit on like that. I think you have to twist it. Deary me. I don't think that fits on there. Let's have a look. Where does this go? It's all very bizarre. Oh, that fits on there. Right. And then perhaps I have to put this on separately like that. I think that's what it's showing in the illustration, if I can find the illustration. I don't know, they don't make it easy. Yes, that's how it is. So basically that's it stored how you'd have it in your cupboard, with the hose wrapped around, the wand on that side, and only one of the nozzles on there, because of course you can't store both nozzles on the machine, so whichever nozzle you use the most, if you've got mainly hard floors, you'd leave that one on. But of course, with many cleaners, not just this one, many cleaners that supply a turbo head, a small turbo head, there's no storage for that on board, so you still have to find somewhere else to put these two. But anyway, it's an attempt at making a cylinder cleaner easier to store. At least with an upright, you've just got to think about the height of the machine and the footprint of it. You don't have to think about separate hoses and tools to store away. But as I said, it's quite it's a larger machine. It's certainly not what I'd call a compact vacuum. I much prefer the Telios version. You still might be able to pick that up. It's still an interesting machine, and again, thank you to Mark for choosing it. I did want it for one reason, because I did want to have a look at it, and also because it does match the other Eco-G machines, so it will stay in my collection, in my little Eco-G collection. All I need now is of course the Eco-G canister model, the bagless canister, and then I've got the whole little set of Eco-G machines. Anyway, that's the first look. It does have a few niggles about it. It is quiet, it seems to have quite good suction. The filters are washable, I've just checked. You can wash them, make sure they're dry for around 24 hours before putting them back in the machine. But of course, being a bagged vacuum, you will have to purchase bags, which so far I haven't found them very cheaply. So you've got to factor in that cost. That's it for the Hoover Eco-G for now. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions about this machine, please comment below, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.